Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Inspired Podcast, Monday Morning Moments with John O'Leary. So, a couple years ago, I had the immense honor of delivering the commencement address for the class of 2023 at my alma mater, the old St. Louis University. Go Billikens. Now, believe me, the only person more surprised than I that John O'Leary was a commencement speaker were the professors that taught me back in the late 90s. As I watched the graduates cross the stage filled with excitement and trepidation and nervousness, and ultimately, I hope, I could not help but think back to the miracle that appeared the night before my own graduation. Let me tell you more about it. So I never dated in grade school, never dated in high school, and the drought continued during my 4 years of college. Graduation night, it rained. The miracle of love finally appeared, people. Just shut your eyes and consider for a moment what she might have looked like. You got her in mind? Do you see her brown hair, brown eyes? Some of you even know her name. No, maybe not. Think again. It wasn't that kind of love. The love that appeared graduation night was not physical. It was not intimate. It was not the beginning of a lifelong partnership. It was instead the incredible generosity of Jack Buck. Following up one more time in my life. After the fire, the months in hospital, and John O'Leary Day at the ballpark, Jack and I had kept our friendship over the years. And learning that the boy who had not any chance at all of surviving the fire, let alone learning to ride again, was somehow now stunningly graduating university, Jack dropped off a gift for me. At a dinner celebrating graduation, surrounded by family, I was handed a beautifully wrapped box with a short note in it from Jack Buck. The first word on the note? Kid. A little sidebar here. At times, I wonder if Jack Buck even knew my stinking name. Anyway, the note went on to say, "This means a lot to me. I hope it means a lot to you too." I unwrapped the gift, opened the box, looked inside, and saw another baseball. But this one was different. It was heavy. It appeared dark. It seemed to be made of glass. Holding it up to the light, I saw that it was engraved. Jack Buck, below that, Baseball Hall of Fame, and below that, 1987. 1987 was the year I was burned. It was also the year that Jack Buck was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. This gift he was giving me, a 22-year-old kid, was his Hall of Fame baseball. I lost my breath. I looked back at the note. "Kid, this means a lot to me. I hope it means a lot to you too." It went on to say, "This is the baseball I received when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame. It is made of crystal. It is priceless. Don't drop it. Your friend, Jack." I looked again at this priceless gift. My friends, why would Jack Buck give me such a treasured possession? As a 22-year-old kid, I felt woefully undeserving of this gift. There are still days where I still do. I was scared of my own shadow. There's days where I sometimes still am. I had no idea who I was or really what life was about. This baseball should have been on display in his home. This baseball should have been passed on to the next generation. Looking at you, Joe Buck. This should not have been mine. I was so overwhelmed by the gift that I took it home that night, and then I buried it in a sock drawer. I did not want anyone to see this gift because I felt completely unworthy of receiving it. I knew if someone saw that ball, they might also wonder how I got it. Then I might have to tell them how I came to know Jack, and then I might have to share the story of how I got burned and recovered and my scars. In other words, my life story, and I wasn't prepared for that one yet. So I kept it to myself. I hid it in darkness for years. But friends, here's the cool thing. Light always cuts through darkness. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to chase those shadows. When Jack gave me that baseball, he had no idea that someday my dad might be stricken with the same disease he battled near the end of his life, Parkinson's disease. He had no idea my parents would write a book. He had no idea that that kid might one day to grow up, embrace his scars, share his story. Jack Buck had no idea that hundreds of thousands of people around the world would be inspired by his gift, his generosity, the way he stepped forward into my life. He likely had no idea that one day that story would be told and turned in to a full feature film called Soul on Fire, celebrating his generosity, this baseball, that love. Jack, though, gave for a far simpler reason. You ready for it? He gave because he could. Isn't that an awesome reason to give? He gave because he could, and in doing so, in time, he radically changed and inspired my life. I think of Jack Buck all the time. I think of his voice bringing light into my darkness in the hospital. I think of John O'Leary Day at the ballpark. I think of those 60 baseballs arriving in the mail, teaching a little boy without fingers how to ride again. And every time I see his crystal baseball reflecting light around the room in my house, I know, I don't just think, I know how one person can indeed change the life of another. I thought of Jack again as I addressed the graduates of St. Louis University a couple years back, as I reminded them of the power they have to make a mighty difference through their lives. And I think of him again as I remind each of you that you and I and we have that same ability to be used for good. No, you do not need to be a Hall of Fame baseball leader to change the world. You just need to be willing to show up, give what you can, and believe that even the smallest act of love can change the world for good. If you're not sure where to start with your own. Why not let the light cut through the darkness there? My friends, I want to thank you for being part of our Live Inspired family over here. And I want to remind you that the foundation is firm, that your life matters, and that the best is yet to come. So for this time, and until next time, my name is John O'Leary, Kid. And today is your day. What a gift. Live inspired.